Evidence of a 5-0 victory against Finland at Wembley last October. The referee this evening comes from East Germany, Siegfried Kirschen. Robson, the England captain. And the Finns themselves will come bombing towards England today, because there's no doubt they feel themselves that they still have a chance of qualifying for Mexico. They field 7 of the team that was so heavily punished by that 5-0 victory at Wembley. A team determined to do better this time. Lahtinen at full-back has had some 4 seasons with Notts County, and in midfield 2 of their best players have had experience abroad. The number 10, Rautiainen, with the West German League side Arminia Bielefeld, and the number 8, Ukkonen, with the Belgian club Cercle Bruges. But most of these players here are part-timers. Their manager, Marty Kusela, 39 years old, who studied in West Germany. Here's the England side. Bobby Robson has replaced the injured Mark Wright with Terry Fenwick of Queen's Park Rangers at the centre of the defence, and he's resisted the temptation to remove Trevor Francis and John Barnes, as some had thought that he might. Gary Lineker and Chris Waddle, of course, though, are amongst the substitutes if required. The Finns then in blue shirts, white shorts, kicking off, attacking the goal to our right. Sansom straightway getting in with a flying header. England with an excellent record against Finland. 7 matches played and 7 won. And now is not the time to let that marvellous record become tarnished. Peter Shilton. Well, as Don Howe was telling me at lunchtime, there are never easy games until they're won. England, though, should start favourites here today. This is Lipponen, the blonde little striker, conceding quite a few inches to Terry Butcher. And I think England expecting quite an assault from the Finns in the opening 20 minutes at least. The need to quieten them down, and then in a purposeful way go about their business. This is Rautiainen, who's played in West Germany, and this is Ukkonen from Cercle Bruges. Rantanen, Ukkonen again, number 6. Now to take the throw for Finland. Back to the number 5, Nieminen. Rautiainen. And a foul and a free kick conceded by Ray Wilkins. Expected something like 30,000 here today, but the terrible afternoon weather has obviously taken its toll. Nieminen with the free kick, who played at Wembley in 1976 when England beat Finland 2-1. And Shilton happy to shepherd that one across the line for the goal kick. Mike Shannon?
Yes, Brian, I think it's going to be important for England today that Trevor Francis gets into the game. I mean, he's had a great season in Italy from what I've heard, and it's important that we can get him into the game as early as we can, because I believe he can rip these apart. The fellow you talked about just now, the number 5, I played against in 76, so he must be getting on a little bit, let's put it that way.
Yes, he's 34. He played in 76 as a striker, now he's a defender. Well, the touch there from Francis didn't come off. The number 4, Ikäläinen. England's throw with Kenny Sansom. John Barnes. And now for Butcher. He's back again to Barnes. And England's throw. Sansom with it. England, who beat Northern Ireland here in Finland. They also got a victory away in Turkey. They played in South America during the winter. And against Poland last month in Poland, they lost only 2-1. There is a quality about them. And particularly, the England camp feel if they were allowed to get a goal up. Well, that's a goal kick, although the England players felt that should have been a corner. Goalkeeper Ollie Huttunen. This is Rantanen, the big striker. Here's Huttunen, who's another part-timer in this Finnish side. Good jump again by Butcher. Touched on again by Turunen. Lahtinen, and now Wilkins. Here's Francis. Trevor Steven finding Wilkins, and now in turn it's with Anderson. Francis hustled off the ball, but not unfairly according to the East German referee, and back it goes again to the keeper, Huttunen. Houtsonen. Lipponen after this one. Sansom's quick too. Lahtinen, who had 4 seasons with Notts County, the number 2 with the throw for Finland. One throw there, allowed to go a long way, and pushed under the post, and a goal! For Finland, scored by number 11, Rantanen, after Shilton had pushed the header onto the post, and exactly the start that England did not require. Mike Shannon.
Brian, it was a great goal. It was a good corner and a good touch on at the near post. Shilt's got a hand to it, but it just touched on the post. It was a great header. The lads come in very late, and the lads followed up and smashed it in the back of the net.
And Rantanen then, the number 11, gives Finland the lead with 5 minutes gone. Shilton did superbly well from Lipponen's header. That really was quite simple in the end for the big number 11. Now we shall see what England are made of. Wilkins. Exactly what we didn't require, because both Bobby Robson and Don Howe said that they feared the Finns, who would be eager and very fit and would come bombing against us, and that they could become very dangerous indeed if they got that early goal. Well, that's precisely what they've got with 5 minutes gone. Barnes. Hateley couldn't get in there.
Brian, I feel it's going to be important now that we push John Barnes well forward, and we can get him a bit of service, because I think the lad's got to start going by a few people. He's struggled a little bit at international level, and I think now we've got to get him wide and get it to him as quickly as we can.
Lahtinen with the throw. Sansom with a header for England. Here's Barnes. Barnes again. Trying to get Hateley on his way. And a long cross in towards Trevor Francis. Trevor Stevens come up as well. But instead it's Ukkonen finding Lipponen. And again it goes to the number 5, Nieminen. The long ball forward, and Lipponen's on his way, and it could be another. And Rantanen was very nearly in there again. Ukkonen again trying to get in, Butcher getting it away, and England were really seriously in trouble again. So early in the game, having conceded 1 goal, came within an ace of putting themselves 2 down. Wilkins needing now to calm things down a little bit. There's a real buzz around this Olympic Stadium. Hateley is up. Can Francis get in? Across the face of the Finnish goal. And a reply from England, but not quite the reply that we needed to make it 1-1. Trevor Francis. Mike Shannon.
Yeah, Finland are playing with a sweeper, Brian, and they're sitting back and they're getting a lot of control. We're pushing up to the halfway line. We tend to be a bit flat, and they've knocked a couple of balls over the back of us, and they're pretty quick, the lads up front, and it's caused us a few problems at the moment.
Well, Robson trying to get Barnes going down that left flank. Hateley's gone into the middle. A swift challenge from Lahtinen. It's England's corner with Ray Wilkins. Butcher at the near post. Fenwick's come up from the back. And here come Finland again with Rautiainen. Fenwick, but hitting it straight to the number 6 Turunen. Well, it's the first goal that England have conceded in this World Cup qualifying group, having played 4 matches and scored 14 until they came here today and not conceded 1. If you've just come in and joined us, 9 minutes of this World Cup qualifying game has gone, and the news not good for England. Finland leading by 1-0, scored after 5 minutes by Rantanen. A free kick to England. Sansom with it. Hateley and Butcher's up there again. A big men throwing to aim for. Ukkonen. Sansom getting it to Anderson. Wilkins. Nice little chip there to Francis. Shoved in the back by Houtsonen. Sansom. Barnes. Francis. A little flick on there towards Robson. But the big sweeper, Kymäläinen, getting it away for Finland to the man who scored the opening goal. Here's Lipponen. Brought down unfairly. He's quick and he's lively and he's dangerous. The young man on the floor, who's been twice to England this season. He's had trials with Southampton and trials with Everton, and badly wants to play in English football. The number 9, Mika Lipponen. He's only 21. So Nieminen with the free kick. England need to stay secure. Busher not getting his header in at all there, and it was as well for them that Hateley came back. Barnes getting it away. Houtsonen crossed in once more. This time Anderson's header. This is a period of some worry for England. And the skipper getting the ball back to his keeper.
Brian, they're shutting the game down an awful lot in the middle of the park, and we can't seem to get Brian Robson or Butch Wilkins can't get out of the ball at the moment. It's very difficult, and like I said, they look very sharp up front, and all they're looking to do is to turn us, and they're causing us a few problems. They're pretty good in the air and all.
Nieminen, and knocked back by the number 4, Ikäläinen. Sansom with a header. No rhythm at all about England in these opening minutes, where they've been shocked by that opening goal by Finland after only 5 minutes. Good jump by Sansom, now for Barnes. A free kick given by Kenny Sansom towards Mark Hateley. Anderson in quickly, finding Francis, and now Trevor Stephen. Sansom. Oh. Hateley for Robson.
Getting back to England, Brian, I think it's important that John Barnes, to me, seems to be sitting right on top of Kenny Sansom. And if Trevor Stevens can push wide on the right, I think we've got to get width from somewhere, but it's no good getting width on the halfway line. We want to get them up the park a bit more.
Well, let's see if they can push Barnes. And Trevor Stephen in particular well forward to test Finland, who appear to be playing only 3 at the back, effectively, with 2 full-backs pushed hard up on Barnes and Trevor Stephen. It's Fenwick at the moment. Nieminen, Ikäläinen, Nieminen again. This is Rautiainen. And he's flattened, and the Finns get another free kick. A tough little midfield player is Pasi Rautiainen, who played for Bayern Munich and Werder Bremen in West Germany before joining Arminia Bielefeld. And it's said that Hamburg also are very keen to get hold of him now. So he's a man of some strength in the midfield then for the Finns. But at the moment it's Nieminen with the free kick on the far side for Finland. The big men going for it, Hateley getting it down to Barnes. And it's being pushed back, but Francis might get in there. Well, his speed very nearly put him past Huttunen, and very nearly put England in the clear. Anderson. Stephen. Wilkins. Anderson again. Planted forward. Trevor Stephen. England's throw. Brian Robson will take it. In fact, it'll be Ray Wilkins who takes it. Robson. Ukkonen. Rautiainen. Oh, the ball might come through now. And a cross that hits Sansom from Turunen and provides the Finns with another corner.
Brian, we've got to be very careful on the break because they may be part-timers, but they're certainly getting forward very quick from the back. Our best chance, funnily enough, came when they were pushing us into our own half, and Francis should almost have scored. It was a great tackle, actually, by the lad. Just his pace got him there.
Well, here's Ukkonen with the free kick, with the corner. Curled in there, and Hateley getting it away. Finland's throw. Lahtinen with it. Rantanen, the scorer, is menacingly placed at the far post again. Came in but didn't get the header. Neither did Trevor Stephen get it away. Ukkonen. And it's off Hateley for another throw to Finland. England still being pushed back. Just over a quarter of an hour gone. And if you just come in, Finland leading by 1-0. Kari Ukkonen. Rautiainen.
It's amazing what a goal does, Brian. I mean, they've got a goal at the right time, and you can see the confidence in the Finnish players now. They're really on top of their game. They're all wanting the ball, all getting forward, and it's going to be a lot harder from now on.
Stephen hacking it forward. Barnes trying to get in. Francis also trying to use his speed, but again the Finns defending well. In goes Butcher. So Lahtinen again with the throw, this time back to his keeper, Olli Huttunen. He had 5 put past him at Wembley in October. Fenwick didn't make much of a contact there, but it's no problems at the moment with Trevor Stephen. Play towards Francis. Wilkins going outside him. Wilkins. And a deep cross towards Mark Hateley. Can Barnes get in? Can Trevor Stephen? Oh, there was a chance there. And and a good chance too. All starting with Hateley's towering header that put them into all sorts of problems. But Stephen sadly couldn't finish it off. Mike Shannon?
Yeah, so Hateley done well, and so did John Barnes. And Trevor Stevens had far more time, and he's just had a slash at it, and it's flew over the top. All season they've been going in, mind.
Fenwick with the header. But the suggestion there that goals might be on for England, and Hateley. But Houtsonen getting it back to his goalkeeper, Huttunen. Well, Mark Hateley, Attila, who scored 2 at Wembley against the Finns. They know all about the threat of the man, particularly in the air. Robson, Sansom, Wilkins. England beginning to move with a little more cohesion at the moment. Stephen. Going all the way to the byline, couldn't get it across, but wins a corner for England.
Brian, that's the first positive move by Trevor Stevens. He's got it wide, and he's got it full. But that's what I want to see John Barnes do on this side. But after saying that, they've got to play it a little bit to get them in. But when they get in, they've got to be prepared to take them on. Don't matter if they lose it; they've got to take that chance.
Well, it'll be John Barnes with a corner, which he'll go swinging in towards Terry Butcher at the near post, and Fenwick is there as well, with Francis at the far post. Hateley looking for a yard. My goodness, it very nearly went straight in. And the simplest touch from anybody in a white shirt would have made sure that it did.
Someone's got to get on the end of them, Brian.
Rantanen, here's Barnes. A nice touch by him to Wilkins. A good little positive touch there for Brian Robson. And Sansom, and a foul on Robson right on the edge of the penalty area. A free kick to England. Now, can they produce something from this? With 20 minutes of the game gone, and England 1 goal down. Rantanen scoring for Finland after 5 minutes. Well, plenty of big, powerful men in white shirts at the far side of that penalty area. Will it be an outswinger? It will, from John Barnes. Swung out there, and somebody being shoved to the ground there. I think it was Brian Robson was... well, he obviously thought he was pushed to the ground, and England were looking hopefully towards the East German referee for a penalty, but he's given a corner, which Barnes now will take. Fenwick's going forward for this one to add his weight in that Finnish penalty area. England now looking a little more like a team, but still requiring a goal. Huttunen with the punch away. Trevor Stephen trying to get in, but he is very quickly challenged by Rautiainen. Bust in again. That time it was Nieminen who got it away. Hateley, but the touch wasn't a good one. And it's a free kick this time to Finland.
Brian, we're beginning to look dangerous on free kicks. I think it's just a case of setting up in the right way, and with the likes of Terry Butcher getting up there and Big Hateley, I think that it's only a matter of time before we score. When we saw him yesterday, they didn't look too good. I think that provided we're positive now and keep the pressure on them, I think we'll get back in this.
Well, some optimistic words from Mike Shannon, but it's still Finland leading by 1-0. Good jump that time by Fenwick. Supported there by Anderson, although he misheaded completely. Ukkonen. And Trevor Stephen doing some good work for England on the far side, but the flag had gone up. It's a throw to Finland. Rautiainen with it. Nieminen. Ukkonen, Rautiainen. And stopped in the end by Anderson. Kari Ukkonen with the throw for Finland. Rautiainen. Ukkonen, who's got a good left foot. Oh, Anderson only half got that one away. And Shilton saving from Turunen. Again, a glimmer of a weakness in that England defence. The clearance, I think, by Viv Anderson wasn't nearly good enough. In fact, it didn't exist at all. Nieminen, Rautiainen. Nieminen. And Anderson very severe on the back of Ukkonen, and the ball falling now for the big defender, Nieminen. Now, will he get a cross in? He does, a good one towards Rautiainen, and Lipponen so close to there. And Rantanen again showing what a dangerous customer he is in the air. It's not often that Butcher and Fenwick get beaten in the air as often as they have been in the 24 minutes of this game so far. Here's Terry Butcher on the ball now for England. Although England once or twice have looked likely to score, they've also looked likely to concede a second goal. Stephen trying to get away, Rautiainen in so quickly, a really tigerish little midfield player. Ukkonen, Lipponen.
Brian, you just said it. There's a lot of crosses coming in the box, and the blue shirts keep getting their heads to it. I mean, we got the big lads at the back, and we're not winning it at the moment.
And normally, when you expect Terry Butcher and Terry Fenwick to be winning that sort of ball.
Well, that's right. I mean, I think that we've got to get a little bit tighter to our men and get our foot in.
Stephen. For Anderson. Fenwick to Butcher. Butcher, who was suffering from flu last week, and there was a scare about his fitness, but he told me yesterday that he was perfectly okay, that he'd shaken it off. Sansom. Played towards Hateley. Can Robson get him in? Can Hateley get in? No, the tackle was a good and a sure one by Turunen, and it's a throw for England. 25 minutes gone, Finland 1, England 0. It'll be a throw by Kenny Sansom, a long one. Butcher's gone up towards the near post. Trevor Stephen getting in, but he just wouldn't fall for an England player. Fenwick getting across. Short ball to Sansom. Back to Terry Fenwick. Barnes. Came off Ikäläinen. Lahtinen. Now Sansom. Flick on, and in fact Francis went diving in, and I think the boot was high, and he may have caught it in the face.
Brave as a lion there, Brian. Daft as a brush, it may be. It was half chance though. I think Trevor saw it, touch on, and he thought he might have got a good header in there, and in fact it flew over the bar.
Huttunen with the kick. Rautiainen. Turunen. In goes Sansom. Can Hateley get after it? No, Lahtinen is there. Just a moment ago that Gary Lineker was warming up for England, but he's gone back into the trainer's bench. Butcher. Maybe that was just a precaution in case Trevor Francis was injured. England's throw. Sansom with this throw. England with work to do. Still this goal down. Stephen. Sansom. Played in for Barnes. Played nicely there for Trevor Stephen, playing his 64th game of the season. And the header goes wide, that time from... Well, it was Robson who got in late, as he does so often and so well. Ukkonen. Rautiainen. In goes Fenwick. Hateley up, but Francis won't collect, and it'll be another goal kick to Finland.
The little number 10 for them, Brian's had a good game.
Rautiainen.
And so's the sweeper. He's playing a good game. He's not dropping off too far to keep all the England players on side. He's pushing up as well, so we're likely to get caught offside at times.
So you can hear it now, the Finnish crowd, and it's grown a little bit in the last 20 minutes or so, getting behind their team. They're not a great footballing nation, it's true. In fact, the biggest football crowd they've ever had here was 29,000 for a match against Sweden. In a stadium that was built, in fact, for the 1940 Olympics, which of course were never held because of the war, but was then used for the 1952 Olympics. Ukkonen, Lipponen's offside.
And on the other hand, Brian, we can't get our midfield players into the game. Butch and Brian Robson, I don't think they've had a touch. Butch is getting his first one now.
Wilkins. Butcher, the long ball towards Francis. And Lahtinen back to Huttunen. Turunen. Rantanen, who scored the goal. Rautiainen. This could be more trouble for England. Well, the pass, which looked as though it might get through to Ukkonen, was stopped by Anderson. There was an offside in any case. Wilkins finding Sansom.
Brian, John Barnes is getting the ball so deep. Kenny Sansom could do what he done then. He wants to get up the park and try and get it off his front players a little bit more.
Well, here is Barnes, being closely marked by Lahtinen. Wilkins. There's some space on the far side for Trevor Steven. And he's taken him on well. Now, can he get across it? Ukkonen is the cross there. Anderson supporting Steven. Steven again. Anderson. Flicked in this time towards John Barnes. Onto the left foot, but a goal kick.
That was a lot better build-up. Brian, we knocked it about. Trevor Stevens, an excellent player. I mean, he got down past his... He's a little bit unlucky, couldn't get his cross in, but it was a good build-up. John Barnes a little bit unlucky.
Rantanen again causing problems in the air, just as Hateley is likely to do at the other end, and then jumped at Kenny Sansom, conceding the free kick.
GVH, Brian.
And it'll be a free kick to England. Kenny Sansom. Barnes. Still far too deep for Mike Shannon's liking, at any rate. Sansom again towards Trevor Francis. Now Barnes in a forward position, but couldn't keep it in. The ball had just gone out of play. A throw to Finland. Just over half an hour gone. Finland 1, England 0 in this World Cup qualifier. Barnes with the header, finding Francis. In turn, trying to look for Hateley, and then gets beaten off the ball by Robson, but a goal kick. Huttunen with the kick. Lands off, rather, Anderson off balance again. Butcher's long kick goes straight through to the keeper. Butcher, Barnes, Robson. The pitch has really cut up a little bit now, and it's difficult for them, but as I'm sure a lot of you are saying, well, it's the same for both sides. And if you've got skillful players, they might make better use of it than the less skillful ones. Wilkins finding Sansom towards Trevor Francis. He's got Hateley up there with him. There's some good, strong challenging, though, by Houtsonen on that occasion for the Finns. And a long, long cross, which the keeper held well. I gather you've lost pictures in England for the moment, but it's still 1-0 to Finland here in Helsinki. And deep in the England half, it's a throw which Terry Butcher will take. Back to Peter Shilton. And a little throw out to Terry Fenwick. Shilton with the clearance. Hateley. And now Stephen. On again towards Brian Robson, but cut out by Nieminen. Here he is again. Nieminen. Inside the Finnish half of the field. Rautiainen's brought down by Wilkins. It's a free kick to Finland inside the Finnish half.
The Finns are very
quickly taken.
The Finns are very competent in the back, Brian. They're marking man for man, and they've got a sweeper, like I said just now. And I tell you what, it's going to be very difficult to break them down. It's important we keep getting our width.
Well, over on the far side, Francis's pass inside came to nothing. Sansom intercepting in the centre circle. Robson losing it, and now Wilkins still in the centre circle. And I gather you've got your pictures back, I'm delighted to say, in London. And that's the bad news, though. England a goal behind in this World Cup qualifier. And the Finns so often at the moment looking quicker to the ball. But the pace is quick. Whether the part-timers, and there are several of them, salesmen and clerks and so on in this Finland side, whether they will keep this pace to the end is maybe another matter. Well, they're coming forward again with Ukkonen. And now Turunen. Turunen getting it back to Lahtinen. Rautiainen. Another foul by Ray Wilkins. Showing a little bit of dissent there to the East German referee, getting across quickly to get the England player back on the way. And some more defending to be done here as Lahtinen will set up another free kick. They brought the big sweeper forward this time. Kymäläinen, the skipper, along with Rantanen, another six-footer who scored the only goal so far. It's got to be Shilton's ball, and it is.
The little number 10 is causing all sorts of problems, and I think Ray Wilkins is dead right for trying to get tight with him and put him under a bit of pressure.
Well, Barnes now. Can England put the Finns under pressure? Trevor Stephen on the far side. He's got a bit of support behind him from Ray Wilkins. Little chip in towards Barnes. Had time to turn. In with the right foot, and the keeper down again well as Hateley came in. His handling has been excellent so far, Huttunen, who's had trials with Sheffield Wednesday, and in fact has been offered a contract with Borussia Mönchengladbach in West Germany. Here's Sansom. Barnes taken down from behind by Lahtinen, and a free kick to England. About 8 minutes of the first half remaining. If you just joined us, let me remind you again, 1-0 to Finland. Francis claiming he was obstructed there by Houtsonen. And here come Finland again. Ukkonen. Butcher sticking out the long legs, getting a bit of breathing space. Robson thinking about the back pass and then decides to chip it back to Shilton. Sansom. Wilkins. Robson looking for at least a draw from this game. Francis. That's a free kick. So much optimism about England going to Mexico, and the signs could hardly be better until today, that is. I think Bobby Robson feels realistically that England needs another 3 points, and he was certainly hoping for 1 and possibly 2 here. Well, it's a free kick. Wilkins and Barnes between them will work something. In fact, it's going to be Wilkins, but not a very good one. Nonetheless, it should come for Trevor Stephen. Wilkins again. A deep across this time. The keeper coming for it. Hateley was in there. Robson's header. Houtsonen getting it away. Butcher. Sanson's made a break down the left, and Butcher spotted him well. It was a good pass. And that was a bad tackle, which gives another free kick. So a chance for England to pile it in there again. They've taken Butcher up once more. Hateley in there too. And as we come towards half-time, England looking for the goal that would restore their confidence a little bit after that shock of conceding a goal after only 5 minutes. Barnes will take it. Plenty of activity by England players in that penalty area, and they're all going in there, but Butcher got above them all, but sadly for England, over the top, and another goal kick to Finland.
Bobby Robson's looking for 1 point, Brian. I'm definitely looking for 2, because I don't think the Finns are that special. We've got to get a bit more. We've got to be a little bit more positive, I feel, because I tell you, they are part-timers and they're not very good.
Well, they may not be very good, but they are leading by 1-0. I'm sure that all our friends in Northern Ireland could be saying, well, we could have told you this because they beat us 1-0 as well. And I think the Irish probably had much more of the game that day, and the Finns stuck away the one real chance that came their way. Rautiainen. He's had far more of the midfield battle than anybody else on either side. But Stephen in very quickly for England, quickening the pace a little bit and finding Trevor Francis, looking to get it onto his shooting foot. Oh, and the keeper made a mess of that one, but fortunately for him, the sweeper and skipper Kymäläinen was on hand. Francis again. Can he get it on the turn? The shot! Fine save! Well, a little bit of venom at last for England in that Finnish penalty area, led by Trevor Francis.
It was a great ball by Kenny Sansom. He saw him early and he got Trevor in, and Trevor needs to be got in early. It was a save in the initial stage.
A corner being taken. Wilkins playing it in again. And the header, and the touch which came off Francis quite easily gathered, and it'll be a free kick to Finland. Rantanen. Nieminen. Rantanen. And Barnes needing to do a defender's job under pressure from Turunen, but does it well. England's throw. 4 minutes to half-time. Rautiainen. Rantanen. And offside against Lipponen.
The big number 11 who scored the goals caused us a lot of problems, Brian. He's put himself about, he's gone to war, the lad. And he's complimented by the little fella as well, the one that went to Southampton.
Lipponen. Well, here is Lipponen, the two blonde strikers, one well over 6 foot, Rantanen, and the tiny Lipponen. Sansom with England's throw. With about 3 minutes to go to half-time. Barnes. Well, Butcher's header going straight to Rautiainen. Ukkonen. But too many white shirts there for that to get back again, and it comes off Wilkins. Here's Anderson. Stephen. Had no chance whatsoever of getting that through to Robson, and Finland gets the throw. Trevor Steven. And although they're part-timers, the Finns have been together since Saturday working for this particular game. Remember, of course, saying that it's Trevor Steven's 64th game. Remember that he and players like Brian Robson went through the fires of a cup final on Saturday. Hateley and Wilkins, Francis were playing in Italy at the weekend on Sunday. And again it went right across the face of that Finnish goal. And again didn't quite get the touch.
Brian, yesterday England were working on the corners, and the corners have been excellent. They've been good balls in. But the trouble is we're not getting anyone on the end of them. I can't believe it.
Rautiainen brought down there by Butcher. Play on, said the referee. Say, that looks very much like the replica of Saturday's cup final incident involving Kevin Moran and Peter Reid. On this occasion, the game was allowed to go on, and well, the Finns keep it in play. Huttunen. Now it's out from Barnes. It's a throw to Finland. The last few seconds of the first half. The half-time whistle as Terry Butcher punches that ball away in anger, because it's been a frustrating and disappointing first half for England. A goal down after 5 minutes by Rantanen, with a real job to do here in Helsinki in this World Cup qualifier. In a moment we get the views of Jimmy Greaves and Ian St John with Jim Rosenthal after the break. More. A welcome back again to Helsinki. So welcome back to Helsinki. The teams on the field. Finland leading then by 1-0. And England, as our gentlemen in the studio were saying at half-time, quite rightly could have been 2 down. But they've had their chances, and maybe being an incurable optimist, but you can't resist the feeling that sooner or later things might just come right for them. Particularly if Hateley can win the sort of ball in the air that he threatened to once or twice in that first half. Well, there's the punch from Huttunen. Wilkins battling away. Substitutions have been made at half-time. Fenwick beaten in the air that time by Lipponen. Butcher, the header only going as far as Ikäläinen. Rantanen forward through to Shilton. There's Hateley with the header. And it might still bounce for Francis, but Huttunen there. Caps the keeper's one. Huttunen. Massive clearance into the England half. Butcher poised underneath it, gets the header in. Robson guiding it down to Wilkins, but it took a nasty bounce and he had to get it back again. Mike Shannon to have a little look for a moment or two to see whether he can see any difference in the way that England are playing in the second half, whether anybody has moved into a slightly different position, whether Barnes is playing a little further forward or what. It's Francis's header. It was a good one. Robson trying to make the break from the midfield. Stopped well again by the skipper and sweeper, Kymäläinen. England's throw. Kenny Sansom with it. Now Barnes. Sansom to Barnes again. Sansom. Delightful chip. Barnes, can he get in behind them? Played in early towards Hateley. Looked to be shoved, but the referee didn't want anything to know about it. And Francis, or rather Trevor Steven, trying to get it in. Certainly looked like a foul on the England player in the box there, Mike Shannon.
Yeah, it was a good move. Kenny Sansom knocked a good ball, and he got a good cross in the lad, and I thought it was a penalty. And after saying that, I think that Trevor Francis has got to get in the box a bit more. He's doing a lot of running, but for me, he doesn't look like scoring goals, and that's what he's there for.
Trevor, in fact, who scored 12 in 47 England appearances. But then, in fairness to him, he's often been substituted. He's not really played 47 full games. Francis. Hateley battling in the air. Rautiainen. Robson after him. Ukkonen. Rautiainen. And Nieminen for Finland. England's throw. Trevor Stephen. Now Robson. Trying to get it through once again to Francis. On the edge of that Finnish penalty area. There's Fenwick going in quickly. It comes off Wilkins. Fortunately, it falls straight for Anderson. Now Stephen. That's a free kick. For England, the foul on Trevor Stephen. Now, can they do something with this? Barnes is coming across. He and Wilkins will work something. Butcher's coming up from the back. 5 minutes of the second half gone. England still a goal down here in Helsinki. Hateley poised as well. Wilkins with it. Perhaps too close to the keeper, and indeed it is. Gave Butcher no chance to come in.
Brian, I don't think England are playing any different to what they were in the first half. I think they're trying to be a little bit more aggressive with them. I think they're pushing up on them and trying to get their foot in. But apart from that, I don't think there's any difference at all. And the little fella, the little number 10 for them is causing us a lot of problems.
Sansom now for England. Robson. Wilkins. Can he finish it off? He's stumbling. And it's a goal! England are level. Mark Hateley came off a defender, but it's Hateley's goal and England's equaliser.
That was a real centre-forward's goal, Brian. He's got it here on the edge of the box. He's bobbled. It was almost a penalty. I thought he was going to go over it first. He's hit it, and he's got a deflection past the keeper. It was a good goal, typical old centre-forward's goal.
Off the keeper, but into the back of the net, and that's what's important for England. Mark Hateley, and here he comes again. Wilkins, a good ball now. Francis now. Can England really turn the screw on the Finns? Anderson getting in there, and Huttunen doing well on that occasion.
I think Brian Robson must have had a word with him at half-time, Brian, because there's certainly a different sort of attitude. I think they're being far more positive. They're getting after the Finnish players, and I tell you what, they're putting them under all sorts of pressure, and you can always see the lads getting the ball back every time they lose it.
I'm sure you're right, Mike. I'm sure Brian Robson did, and I'm sure Bobby Robson also. Chested off nicely by Robson for Stephen. No chance for Francis, who turns away in anguish, knowing that there was no chance of him, with all his pace, getting on the end of that one. Now England really warming to this job now. Anderson playing it forward again towards Hateley. Robson trying to make one of his breaks from the midfield, gets his foot to it nonetheless. 1-1 now, the score here in Helsinki. Barnes for England. Falls again nicely for Barnes. I think it came off a defender, but that didn't, and it's a goal kick.
Trevor Stevens has had a good game up to now, Brian. He always looks dangerous, and he gets good balls in, and he's always looking to get by. He always takes on his defender, which is good to see.
Wilkins, and an offside against Hateley, who hadn't got back quickly enough. It's going to be a free kick to Finland. Hutsunen with a long free kick. Good jump by Fenwick. Rautiainen. Touch on by Rantanen, but that time Ukkonen was offside. Well, it was 5 minutes into the game when Rantanen got the Finns on their way with a goal. 5 minutes into the second half when Mark Hateley got the equaliser. England's free kick. Free kick and an equaliser that England desperately needed. Now, will it lead to a winner? It's a free kick to Finland. Long clearance again by the Finnish goalkeeper. Viv Andersson underneath it. Rautiainen for Finland. Obstructed, and clearly obstructed there by Wilkins. He looks to the sky as the referee comes across and has another word with him. I tend to think that the little number 10, Rautiainen, does tend to make a meal of things, but it was a foul, and it was worthy of a free kick. And Nieminen will take it for Finland. Let's hope that England can stay secure now. Doesn't concede a second goal. He's driven it well, but, well, you really are an optimist if you think you're going to beat Peter Shilton from that range. Peter Shilton winning his 69th cap for England today. Robson's header. Francis just touching it in. Wilkins finding Trevor Stevens. Played on again. Brian Robson chasing after it. And Kymäläinen is there. It's a goal kick. The oldest man in the side at 35. He's won 36 caps for his country. And the number 10 is Rautiainen. Rautiainen again. Ikäläinen. Robson's after him. Lipponen's waiting in the middle, and the man who scored the goal too. Oh, and it was a good and important header for England that Butcher got in there. Wilkins up but didn't collect. Fenwick just moves it on towards Francis. Fenwick again trying to get Barnes in. The bounce of the ball might go for him, but it didn't. Lahtinen's there. Turunen and now Rantanen. Sansom back. And England looking a little more competitive in this second half, that's for sure. Barnes. Lahtinen. And back to Shilton. So the news then from Helsinki. Finland 1, England 1 in this World Cup qualifier, with about 12 minutes of the second half gone. Anderson going on. Now, can he get the cross in from the byline? No, it's a...
Brian, I still think one of our problems is in midfield. Our two midfield players, Ray Wilkins and Brian Robson, just can't get into the game. They're not getting any control of the game at all. Consequently, we are struggling a bit, having to knock long balls forward. And really, with the sweep, with them playing with a sweeper, it's very hard for us to get control of the game.
Hateley then, the scorer of the England equaliser. Watched by Houtsonen as Huttunen takes the kick. Anderson looking much better in the second half. The flag was up for some reason. I can't think that was offside. That's what the decision's given for. Presumably Mark Hateley in the central position offside. So it'll be Hutsunen with it. In fact, it's the sweeper, Kymäläinen. Little flick in there by Rantanen. Anderson there quickly for England. Lipponen making a nuisance of himself. Fenwick not really getting it away. Rautiainen, a little touch there and a good one. Nieminen. Not for Ukkonen. And Trevor Stephen getting it away now for the other Trevor Francis. Now, what's the pace like? Good pace. Gets past his man. Hateley at the far post. He's spotted him, and he's almost found him. I thought for a moment he found him. Lahtinen really had to leap and has injured himself in doing so. And for a moment it looked very, very good indeed there for England. Butcher now getting back under pressure from Lipponen. And the Finns have a slight problem because in leaping to get that ball and prevent it getting to Hateley, Lahtinen would appear to have injured himself. Well, the game goes on and Lahtinen is now moving a little more freely. He'll need to down that flank because Barnes has now found Hateley. That was probably a free kick.
I just feel now that the Finnish side have gone a little bit. Perhaps they're feeling the pace, but that was the first opportunity Trevor Francis had to run at anyone.
Gentleman in the glasses is the Finland manager, Martti Kusela, talking to Petäjä, who looks as though he might be coming on as a substitute. Barnes finding Wilkins. Space on this near touchline for Trevor Stephen. Francis in the middle and available. Stephen finding Robson. Good swift challenge, but Robson held it off. Hateley's header. And Francis again trying to get in. It's England's corner. And things now looking a little healthier for England, having pulled back to 1-1. And are now having, slowly but surely, the better of the game. Their third corner. And the Finns have had only one. Barnes will take it. Butcher again at the near post, looking for the little nod on, but not nearly good enough. Houtsonen getting there and getting it away. Activity on the Finnish bench, activity on the field as Ukkonen under pressure from John Barnes and from Viv Anderson. The throw given England's way. Francis, Wilkins, Sansom. Score still standing at 1-1. Now Robson. Ukkonen. Nieminen. Now Lipponen. Fenwick in command. Anderson, Butcher, Robson. Look at the space there. Certainly didn't have that sort of space in the first half, and unlike Brian Robson, he made very little of it. You get the impression, Mike, that the pendulum has swung a little bit towards England.
Most definitely, Brian. They've come into the game more and more now, and I tell you what, it just appears to be a matter of time before we score again.
Fenwick, a free kick though for Finland, so there's a bit of defending to do before we can get back this way. I hope we weren't tempting Providence. It'll be Rautiainen, the number 10, who's caused so many problems, who's placing the ball for Nieminen. Kymäläinen has also gone forward, the sweeper, and he's hurled in, but Sansom got there first. Stephen trying to chest it down for Trevor Francis, and in the end it's Turunen. Anderson's header. Trevor Stephen. In goes Robson in characteristic style. And now Francis trying to get away down this touchline. Will it go for a corner? No. Tell you what, I think it did. But the linesman, who wasn't in line, said no. I only say that with some authority because I have to tell you that the stadium is built for athletics here, and all the commentary positions are opposite what would be the finish of the 100 metres, which is right alongside one of the penalty areas at one end of the field, where England are attacking at the moment. Well, it's at the other end at the moment. And Turunen trying to get in, and Butcher getting it away for a throw to Finland, which Lahtinen will take. Hateley's gone back. Kymäläinen has gone forward. Big sweeper. Hateley's gone to mark him. Hateley got the header in, helped on by Trevor Stephen, helped on by John Barnes, and now the chase is on for Trevor Francis. But the bounce was unkind, and the ball comes back to the safety of the Finnish keeper. Another long clearance, Rantanen. And again, Butcher carefully back to his keeper. Sansom, Barnes, Sansom, Hateley. Well, if you're just coming in, score here in Helsinki, Finland 1, scored after 5 minutes. England 1, scored after 5 minutes of the second half by Mark Hateley. Butcher, played towards Hateley, towards Trevor Stephen, and Trevor Francis. Well, he was allowed no time by Ukkonen, in fairness, but it gets England a corner. Forward come Butcher, forward comes Fenwick. Viv Anderson's coming into this one as well, as Francis goes back towards the near post. Barnes with this corner. Chipped a bit deeper this time. Butcher's right in there, and it comes through to the keeper. Behind him was Robson waiting for the touch. In fact, it was a free kick. Rautiainen. Oh, bad ball. Straight to Hateley. Now for Francis. Can he get it onto the left foot and shoot? Good save. The first mistake, really, that Rautiainen has made all afternoon, and Hateley did so well to put in Francis.
It was a good effort by Trevor Francis here. He's got his shot in, but I feel that Trevor Francis is getting far more space now, and if we can just get him the ball, he looks as if he might score now.
Butcher underneath this one with Rantanen. Robson. Barnes. Sansom. John Barnes. Nice little chip to Hateley, clearly offside by a couple of yards.
Once again, I feel that John Barnes is trying to do it from far too deep. He's taken far too long to get the ball delivered up to his front players.
The number 11 there, Rantanen, the man who gave us that early shock with the goal for Finland, 1-1. Anderson. Stephen. That's England's throw. Viv Anderson with it. Francis into space for Wilkins. The space now encouraging Sansom. Looking for Hateley, who's got such strength, but on that occasion was fouled by Hutsunen, but the referee decided that there was no foul. Butcher fouled and a free kick. Butcher himself takes it. Played forward to Hateley. Hutsunen following him everywhere, but he still lays it off for Kenny Sansom. Showed too much of that to the Finn, though. And here's Rautiainen. A man who says he modelled himself on Kevin Keegan and had his room when he was a boy plastered with Kevin Keegan pictures, and he's got that same hustle and bustle about him, Mike, hasn't he?
Yes, he looks their best player anyway. Everything goes through him, and in the middle of the park, he's caused problems for our midfield players. He's basically controlled the game for the Finns.
At 1-1. Finland's throw. Nodded on again, and it just really, as it was in the 5th minute of the game, the way they nodded one on, and the goal came from it. Here's Wilkins. Nieminen. Ikäläinen. Kymäläinen. Lipponen beaten in the air by Butcher. And can Hateley get in again? No, he gets back safely to Huttunen. Turunen, chased by Robson. England's throw. Just over 20 minutes remaining here in Helsinki. Finland 1, England 1. With the Finns having gone ahead after 5 minutes, having had some other chances in the first half, but England having looked much better in the second half, particularly after the Mark Hateley equaliser. Here's Trevor Steven. Steven again with a deeper one. Hateley looking to get underneath this one. Nods it down. Barnes, but there's a flag up for an offside.
I just feel now that if England can just pressure them, I think they've just got to raise their game a fraction again. The game's there for the taking. We've got to push forward and put them under pressure, and I'll tell you what, they've gone for me, the Finns.
Well, there's 20 minutes for England to do just that. Butcher's header. Barnes. Wilkins. This will be Anderson's. But that was of very little use to the men in front. Sansom underneath this one. The header for Hateley. And now for Robson, but not getting it through to Francis. Steven. Wilkins. Trevor Steven. Looking up, getting a good, tantalising sort of ball there that had the defenders going the wrong way and the keeper not sure whether it would be his or not. That looked like a foul on Steven, but right in front of the linesman who kept his flag down. Rautiainen, having a scuffle there with Fenwick, and for a moment the arms were raised there on the Finnish number 10. That was a dangerous game for Terry Fenwick to play, but the referee just waved him away. And again Rautiainen, who looks to make a meal of so many things, is down and apparently injured, but the referee is not fooled. I think he feels the way that I feel, that the number 10 does tend to make a meal of things, and he is ordering the game to go on. He won't let the Finnish trainer on. Interesting situation this, and he's saying that and he's saying to the trainer that he's got to get Rautiainen off. Incidentally, away from the picture at the moment, it looks to me as though Chris Waddle is warming up, and Gary Lineker, I think, isn't it, Mike?
Yeah, Gary Lineker and Chris Waddle, yeah. I would have thought that it could well be worth trying Chris Waddle on the left-hand side of the park, because he does like to get at people, and I feel that probably their fitness is telling a little bit now. I mean, their legs look to have gone, and you get the feeling that if we could, like I said just now, if we could just raise the game...
Well, there's the challenge we're talking about, and Terry Fenwick dealt rather roughly with him, and in fact Rautiainen has gone off the field. Nieminen. Anderson's header. Finland at the moment down to 10. Robson. Challenge from behind, was allowed to go on. The referee tried to play the advantage there, but no advantage was coming Finland's way. John Barnes again. Rautiainen, who's back on the field, getting in the header. Fenwick for England. Wilkins. Stephen. Last couple of occasions England have come here, they've won 4-1. 2-1 would be ideal now. And there's something like 16 minutes remaining. Fenwick gets it back. Shilton prevents the corner. Francis's header. Hateley. Huttunen with the throw. And Rautiainen getting it back to his keeper. Stephen. Hateley. The claim handball, the referee says no. And in fact the ball comes to Ukkonen, England's throw.
Big Hateley has scored a lot of goals, Brian, but I tell you what, I don't feel that he ever joins in the play. He never, nothing ever built up off him. He never seems to control the ball and knock it off. He's all about getting himself in and getting himself in goal-scoring positions.
Well, here's Sansom. Now Wilkins. Kymäläinen. And it must have just nicked off an England boot because the throw is given to Finland. Houtsonen with the free kick. Finnish manager Martti Kuusela was honest enough to say that if Finland played England on 10 occasions, on 9 England would be the winners. And he said, I hope that this will be the 10th. He didn't mention anything about a draw, which is the way it stands at the moment. 1-1 with 14 minutes now remaining. A throw to Finland. And certainly England must stand up and not concede anything this late in the game. Lahtinen with a good long throw again. Sansom getting in a timely clearance and not very much distance on it, but the goal kick coming England's way.
I'm not too sure who he would take off, but I would have thought that John Barnes, he might take John Barnes off. They're still warming up, I see.
Shilton's clearance. Anderson's header. Pretty hefty charge there by Hateley. Some neat play by Francis. And again, good play by Trevor Francis, bringing Trevor Stephen into it. Anderson making that break, as you can see, for him. But in fact, Stephen lost his way. And Nieminen got in. Fenwick's header. Wilkins went through firmly with that challenge, but it was of no use. In the end, the pass to Hateley. Rantanen, there's Wilkins again. Turunen making no progress, and a substitution being made with Ari Hjelm coming on, the number 16, who's a striker for Finland. So Ari Hjelm is on, and England are going to bring on Waddle at the same time. But from where I'm sitting, it's impossible to see who it is from England who's coming off, but the ball is up there. It's Trevor Stephen who's coming off. So Waddle on, Stephen off. When this clearance is made from this throw, there's probably Robson down there on the bench. I'll get the views of Mike Shannon on that one. Well, Hjelm getting his header in straight away. Lipponen getting in, but it's over the top.
I find that a little bit strange. I thought that Waddle is a left-sided player anyway. He's basically a left-footed player. I thought that Trevor Stevens had a good game. He caused a lot of problems, and he always looked like getting by his man and getting good crosses in.
Well, Waddle has taken a position on the right flank. Confusion there amongst the Finns, and here's Francis. But a good challenge though by Ikäläinen. Anderson. Hateley looking to pounce and chose his moment well, but the linesman's flag went up for a shove, and it'll be a free kick to Finland. Huttunen will take it. 10 minutes remaining. And Finland and England standing at 1-1 in this World Cup qualifier. Robson's header. Wilkins, some nice play. Trying to bring Barnes into it. Instantly two players were on him. Butcher planting it forward towards Francis. That's England's throw. The ball coming off Huttunen.
There was talk about Trevor Francis being left out of this game, but for me, second half, he's had a good game. He looks lively and he looks sharp, and he's the one for me that could win the game for England.
Well, at the moment, it's Barnes finding Wilkins. Turn, it's Fenwick looking towards Waddle. Free kick to Finland. Waddle. He said, what do I call you, Newcastle or Tottenham? He said, well, I'm still technically a Newcastle player, but it's a matter of crossing the T's and dotting the I's. Hateley. Robson. There's Francis coming in, supported by Waddle. There's some good play there by Nieminen. And away he goes, Hjelm now, the substitute. Lipponen waiting in the middle, Rantanen too, and Fenwick holding him off a goal kick. Hjelm, and Peter Shilton with the kick for England. About 8 minutes remaining. Hjelm trying to get Lipponen in. Fenwick in very strongly indeed. Wilkins finding Anderson, and now Waddle. Francis battling away there with Nieminen. In turn finding Turunen. And away go Finland again. Rantanen. Lahtinen. Stopped by Butcher. Sansom. Hateley's header. Finland's throw. It's a match you feel England should win, but you get a little quiver of apprehension every time those blue shirts go into the England half. as they're doing now. A high ball. Hjelm is going after it. Waddle holding him off as Shilton comes out. And now Chris Waddle. It's not his favourite side of the field, but let's see what sort of progress he can make. Rautiainen against him, getting it onto that favoured left foot. Finding Francis, and he's onside. Hateley wanting the ball at the near post, and Robson tries so hard to get in, and kicked off the line by the number 6 Turunen. When England, right at the end of this game, 7 minutes left, were so close to getting what could well have been a winner. Instead it now flies to the other end. Lipponen now. Out of play, England's throw.
That was a great opportunity. Trevor Francis again got in a great position, and he should have cut in and had a shot here, I felt, but he's done well. He's got to the byline, pulled it back, and Brian Robson again in there, just a little bit unlucky, and it's just gone wide.
Barnes now. It's going to be a throw to Finland. Torn between two thoughts at the moment. You think, well, let's maybe settle for a draw, make sure we get that at least, and then when you see a chance like that, you feel that this, even with 6 minutes left, is a game that could be won. But at the moment it's a game that's got to be saved, and Fenwick getting in and making the clearance from Lipponen. Rautiainen losing it to Robson, and now Waddle. Francis again very active up ahead of him. Waddle going past Hjelm. Now, can Chris Waddle get something out of this? No, he's not beaten yet. Looking to get a corner. In fact, it'll come for Ray Wilkins. Played in early and played in well towards Francis. He got a header in there, and Hateley tried to finish it off. And in the end, it's a goal kick. So Bobby Robson on the bench with Don Howe. I would have thought Bobby also in those two minds, thinking, well, we've got a point here, I want to go away with that. Maybe we should still try to get the two as the Finns bring on another substitute, Petäjä, who's a midfield player. Plays in the Swedish First Division. And Lahtinen has gone off. Well, there's a little under 5 minutes left as Hjelm takes it up for Finland. Waddle getting back there. And the crowd howling away there. Probably made the decision for the referee. It means a free kick to Finland, and it could just pose a problem for England. They're taking all the big men forward now. Now England need to defend well. A matter of 4 minutes left. Crowd are howling for a second goal for Finland. The score 1-1. Nieminen with it. Butcher could be important here for England, and Shilton too, getting the punch away. Houtsonen now, returning it. And Sansom hooking that one away to the safety of a throw. But England, just for a moment, began to quiver, and we thought there might be problems.
I feel that if England will be very upset with themselves if they don't win this game. I mean, they've dominated it in the second half.
It's still there to be won, though. Rantanen. And get it away, yes. Ray Wilkins gets that one away. Waddle tries to get it away, and suddenly Francis is on the move. Now, can Barnes get up for this one? Houtsonen is there, and he knows where it's safe. A little over 3 minutes now. 1-1 still. Ray Wilkins urging everybody to get in there forward to seek this winner for England. Brian Robson. Viv Anderson finding Waddle. Hateley with his arm up on the far side, wanting the long cross from Chris Waddle. Instead it's with Ray Wilkins. The little chip by him. Now it goes towards Hateley, but it's beaten away again by the Finns. And here's Rautiainen playing it for Lipponen. He's got Rantanen up there with him as well. England bring it away again with John Barnes. Francis. That little bit of acceleration. Is he going a corner or a free kick? corner. 2 minutes remaining. Butcher is up there, and Fenwick, as Wilkins takes the corner. Can England snatch it now, right at the last? Curled in once more, punched away. Getting some distance there, Huttunen with the punch. Wasn't a particularly good corner there by Wilkins. It offered Butcher very little chance to get in. 90 seconds left. 1-1 still the score. Sansom with the throw. Hateley trying to flick it on. Houtsonen getting it away. Only Lipponen is up. Fenwick surely will hold him at bay. Lahtinen was flagging there for a moment at this end. Butcher. Now Anderson gets it away again for England. France is coming deep. The little touch there for Waddle, who really hasn't had a chance of a run yet. Now tries to get Robson in. Good challenging though by Nieminen. Turunen. Hateley getting back, falls it over to the ground. And they stand up and confront each other, and still are, until Robson gets in as the peacemaker. We're inside the last minute. It looks as though England will have to be content with a draw in a match that they'd hoped to win, but it's still one more important step towards Mexico. But hold on, here's Butcher, got some defending to do. Caught off balance, can Anderson get in there? He does, and holds Rantanen off. And then puts it into touch. Well inside the last minute. It's going to be a free kick to England. Which Wilkins will take. Hit with some length there towards Hateley. But Finland, as we come into injury time, Anderson getting in very importantly there, helped on by Butcher. Goal kick. The little crisis which seemed to be developing there is over. And the final whistle has gone. It stands 1-1, another point for England towards Mexico. Rantanen having scored in the first half after 5 minutes, with Mark Hateley getting the equaliser 5 minutes into the second half. Let's see if we can get the views in a moment of Bobby Robson. And I would have thought Bobby must be moderately well pleased.
That's the rules so important, you know.
Honestly, 30 seconds.
Hey,
seconds.
First things first.
Bobby Robson down on the bench there at the moment, just getting off the bench. I hope we might get just one word with him before he goes off.